Let's learn 1-point perspective with Ms. Boley. What is 1-point perspective in art? Well, we've already learned about how art can have a foreground, middle ground, and background. And perspective is a technique that artists use to create depth in their art. A painting or a drawing is a 2D flat surface, but if an artist uses perspective techniques, it creates the illusion of a 3D space, as we're seeing here in this picture. So perspective is using lines, colors, and shading to create the illusion of depth on a 2D surface. Create the illusion of space. We've all had the experience when we're driving somewhere and the place that we're going looks really small, but when we get there, it's normal sized. So this is what's happening with perspective. Things that are far away from the viewer, we draw those smaller. Things that are closer up to the viewer, we make them bigger. So have a look at this picture. We're going to use this picture to learn about some vocabulary words related to 1-point perspective. So notice how the train tracks are meeting kind of in the middle of the picture there, and the trees and those power lines on the left side are also directed towards that center place. So the first word that we're going to learn about is horizon line. So this is a horizontal line which is placed approximately at the viewer's eye level across your drawing or across your canvas. And there is our vanishing point. So a vanishing point is where all of the things in the art piece will meet there, or will all get smaller as they moved towards that point. And then finally, orthogonal lines are lines which direct our eye toward the vanishing point. So they could be actual objects in the painting, like the train tracks, which meet at the vanishing point, or they could just be a visual guideline, like the line for where the trees are, or the line for where the power lines are. So look at this picture. Where do you think the horizon line would go? Take a second to point it out on your screen. Where do you think the vanishing point would go? Again, take a second to point it out on your screen. And then where do you notice orthogonal lines? Again, take a second to point them out on your screen. All right. Let's do a quick vocabulary review. So as we've learned, the horizon line runs across the canvas at the viewer's eye level. Orthogonal lines are those visual rays or actual lines that help the viewer's eye to connect points around the edges of the drawing to the vanishing point. And the vanishing point is where all the orthogonal lines meet, like the train tracks in the distance. As things get closer to the vanishing point, they get smaller. You will need a pencil and eraser, paper or your visual journal, a ruler or something that has a straight edge that you can use to draw straight lines. And I also grabbed some square and rectangle shaped objects from my home, but these are not necessary. They are optional. All right, let's get started. So we have our piece of paper and our pencil and ruler. And I'm going to start by drawing a horizon line. So I'm going to draw that horizontal line around the middle of the paper. So it's supposed to be at the viewer's eye level. And then I'm going to do my vanishing point. So I'm just going to draw a little dot. I'm going to place it in the middle of my sheet of paper. So now I'm going to trace some rectangular and square objects, and I'm just going to place them wherever I want on my page. I'm tracing objects because I feel like it's a little bit easier than drawing your own, but if you want to, go ahead and grab a ruler and just draw some different size and different shape rectangular and square boxes. We're going to make these boxes kind of floating in space. You're going to continue adding rectangles and squares, either drawing or tracing them, until you have 5 of them drawn on your paper. All right, so the next step is we're going to take from each corner of our boxes, we're going to draw an orthogonal line towards the vanishing point. And there's certain ones that we aren't going to draw because they're going to end up being behind the box. So you'll see what I mean in just a second. So I'm going to take my ruler. It's important to use a ruler for this. I'm going to draw this orthogonal line. I'm not going to draw it all the way to the vanishing point, but I know that it does continue all the way. Then I'm going to position my ruler onto the next corner. And again, draw line. I did draw it all the way to the vanishing point this time. Maybe I will actually, just so that we can see it visually. I am keeping those lines light because I will be erasing them later. And then my final corner, just position my ruler. Okay. So I'm not going to draw the line from that corner because I wouldn't be able to see that in my, if the box wasn't see-through. So I'm not going to draw that one in. And now what I need to do, now that I have those orthogonal lines drawn, is I need to draw the back edges of the box. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line, and then I'm going to draw a vertical line. There we go. And those two lines are going to represent the back edges of my box. And then I'm going to erase those orthogonal lines because they aren't actually part of the box. They were just kind of guidelines for me to be able to see the correct angle for the other lines in the box. All right, let's watch one more. So we've drawn lines from each of the corners towards the vanishing point, and then horizontal and a vertical line to represent the back edges. So that one's a long, skinny type box. And then we're going to erase those orthogonal lines. All right, so this box in the front here, I'm going to try to draw it as if it were see-through. So this is a challenge, an extra challenge. So feel free to skip this part of the video. So what I'm going to do is I'm withdrawing a line from each corner of the box towards the vanishing point. So you know how normally we only draw 3 of the ones that are visible? So I'm going to draw all of them because this box is clear, it's see-through. So I'm going to draw, there we go, from that last corner. And the next step is to draw a vertical line and a horizontal line to finish off the back edge of the boxes. And to align my vertical line, I look at the edge of the paper. Same thing with my horizontal lines. So I kind of see if my ruler is lined up with the edge of my paper. And then we're going to erase those orthogonal lines because it can get confusing with this type of see-through box. So I don't want to have any other extra lines sitting there and confusing me. I'm going to erase more orthogonal lines in just a second. Okay, so now I need to draw the back, the inside of the box. So I'm going to draw a horizontal line. So from the bottom corner there to that one line where I didn't erase, and a vertical line, again from that one back corner downwards. And then I gotta erase, I gotta make that a little bit more clear and erase where I went over. And then I'm gonna also erase that back orthogonal line back there. You'll see what I mean in just one second. Just have to finish that line up, make it a little darker. So I will then erase And now I have a see-through box. So that is a challenge. If you feel up to it, try to make one of your boxes see-through. All right, now for this middle box that's on top of the vanishing point, I don't need to do any lines because they're all going to be behind the box anyways. But I am going to just erase some of those lines that I've drawn over top of it and just go over the outside lines of it real quick. But I just wanted to point out that for anything that's on top of the vanishing point, it won't need to have any orthogonal lines drawn out from any corners or anything like that, because it would just, we wouldn't be able to see any of the sides. All right, so there you go. I hope that you had fun drawing your 5 boxes floating in space. Thanks for watching.